Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening and welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, and again, welcome to another night of sharing. With us, we have a phenomenal show. I have a wonderful new guest. Her name is Miss Lakesha Stines. She is the inventor and creator of the anti-drinking device called Sober Touch Censoring. Lakesha Stines was born and raised in Eastern Shore of Virginia, Cape Charles. She has 6 children and relocated to Connecticut back in 2007. When she was 10 years old, one of her mother's close friends was struck by a drunk driver while she was 9 months pregnant. The tragedy affected Lakesha to witness a mother and child so close to her and the family laying in a casket in 2014. One of Lakesha's good friends who went to school with him, his mother, stepfather, and daughter, which was 14 years old, was hit by a drunk driver coming home from their family reunion. The accident was fatal and there were no survivors. After that incident, Lakesha came up with the idea of sober touch censoring. Lakesha recalls jumping out of her bed, out of her sleep and wrote down the vision, the name, the logo, and its purpose. Lakesha meditated on the idea for about 4 months. Lakesha made a move and contacted the Idea Design Studio, where she drew out the logo and all the drafts herself and sent it to the studio. The company then sent her on the right track with her patent, the grayscales, color scale, and simulation video. Then she went on from there. Lakesha has been featured on Channel 12 News, WMSK Online Radio with Arlene Major on the Lady Blue radio show, featured in 4 issues of State vs. Us magazine, Smoke Magazine, LLC, owned by KJ, and she's been nominated the Black Female Entrepreneur for the State vs. Us magazine and won the opportunity for herself and Sober Touch to be featured on the cover as a business boost. So, without further ado, let's please bring on my special guest, Miss Lakesha Stines. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Well, welcome on tonight's show. And Lakesha, why don't you tell my listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you've been up to lately?
Oh my gosh, I've been doing so much. I've been doing a lot of interviews. I was just featured on the cover of a magazine in December, just past December, that's based out of Calcutta, India.
Oh.
And that was a great honor, a great honor to be actually on the cover of a magazine. And I've also in February I was honored by U.S. Senator Blumenthal and Senator Bradley and the mayor of Bridgeport and City Representative Tony Barr. All of them came together and honored me and with a beautiful certificate for all my hard work. They actually did it on Channel 12 News. Then like February the 13th, I was just honored by Mayor Cassetti, the mayor of Ansonia, and I was sworn in with my proclamation at the Alderman's meeting. And then like a week later after that, he turned around and he blessed me with the key to the city.
Woo! Congratulations.
Like, it's just so awesome. Like everything has just been just happening just back to back. And like, I just feel so blessed at what God is doing. And like, it just started as a dream. Mm-hmm. It started as a dream. And I just jumped up and I wrote it down. And I didn't really know, what I was doing at first. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. I just know that I had a dream that I felt the urgency to write it down. And I remember in the Bible it says when it talks about visions and things that you want God to do for you in your life, he said you're supposed to write it down and you make it plain. So I got up and I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I everything that God showed me in that dream, I wrote it down. The name, the logo, everything. I just wrote it down. And after I wrote it down, I went back to sleep and then I woke up. And I was telling my kids about the dream that I had, and showing them what I had wrote down. And I was just basically giving them the vision as how I saw it. And my oldest son walked in, and my oldest son, Torian, he walked in the room and he was being funny because he's always the clown of my kids. And he walked in the room and he said, if you build it, they will come, and started laughing. Mm-hmm. And then I heard the Holy Spirit say, out of the mouth of babes. And I was like, you want me to build this? That's what you want me to do? And I sat on it for about 4 months, and I'm like, wants me to build this. So I said, okay. After I sat on it for about 4 months, and basically the Lord would just kept nudging my spirit and wouldn't not just let me leave that idea. Mm-hmm. It always stayed in my head, and it always bothered me because I basically pushed it to the side because I was like, I don't know that I can build this. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start, contacting Inventec companies. And that's what I did. I started doing that, and I got up with an Inventec company, and it cost a lot of money, but it was well worth it because I got everything that I needed at that point. Mm-hmm. But everything was like a different level.
Right.
It was a level to this. Then was a next level. Then it was the next level.
Right.
And like 4.5 years later, I looked back at where I started, mm-hmm. which in the beginning, I didn't think I could do this. But I never gave up. And to look back at where I started from, mm-hmm. and look at where I'm at today, mm-hmm. it was nobody but God. Nobody but God. Now I'm in I'm coming up on the manufacturing stage now. Okay. Everything is done. Everything is done.
Okay. Well, okay. We're going to backtrack some because you've told us a lot of great information about how you guys started and all that. But what I want to do is I want the listeners to really get a hold and grasp of who you are. Now, when I was reading the bio about you and the information, you had seen a lot of tragic things growing up as a child. Mm-hmm. And that changed your thought process in your life into where you're at today. But tell us a little bit more as a mother, how those things that you've seen happen to you, how has it really affected you with your children? You have 6 children. So how has all these changes really truly affected you and your family?
It basically made me more protective, because raising 6 kids in this world is like a lot going on. And like she's basically my godmother. She was my good friend of my mom. She was always to my house, and she always hugged and kissed on me and took me to the store and all that type of stuff. I was like 9 years old. And this woman, she was an awesome woman. She used to sing and she did hair and all that type of stuff. This woman had a life. Her name is Sabrina Atkinson. Mm-hmm. And she had a life. And she also had 6 or 7 kids herself. And she was pregnant with her last child.
Okay.
And I remember when she told me that she was going to move across the bay. I'm from Eastern Shore, Virginia, so that's over across the bridge to Norfolk and Virginia Beach and Hampton and stuff like that. It's over that area because I'm from the Eastern Shore. I remember when she told me that she was going to move, and I was really upset about her leaving. I remember that. And then not too long after that, I found out that she had died.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody had, not only was this man intoxicated, but he was high also.
Mm-hmm.
And she was walking across the street. She was 20 days from being due to have her daughter.
Wow.
20 days.
Mm-hmm.
And this man was high and drunk out of his mind. And she was walking across the street and he ran the light. He hit her so hard
Mm-hmm.
and killed her and her baby.
Right.
Killed the both of them. And like, with that experience alone, I was always so afraid, like, especially when I lived in Philadelphia, when it was like basically street, no yard really.
Right.
I was like, tell my kids, look, you can't go off the porch. You gotta stay up on the porch because I don't want you near the road.
Mm-hmm.
I was like really cautious of my kids, really cautious.
Right.
I do the same with my grandkids. No,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot go off the porch. Do not go off the porch.
Right. Because with these incidences, it made it very difficult for these kids to have a normal life, so to speak, when it comes to having your playtime and just wanting to hang outside with your friends. Because of the experiences that you have seen, their livelihood was obviously very different. And so going through all the processes, and like you said, you decided to go through the process of doing something to make a difference so that nobody else has to deal with this. Now, obviously, talk to the listeners and my audience about what the process is of putting together a patent, because that's a huge process and a long process. And we talked a few minutes before the show about the fact that being here it is, an inventor is a whole lot different than just being an entrepreneur. So kind of walk through a little bit of the process of what it means to have a patent as an inventor.
Well, to have a patent, you have to have an idea or a brand of some sort to be able to patent. When I got my invention patent, I had to go through, and it costs a great deal of money to do this. And like, you have to get your provisional package first, your provisional, and you have to get your non-provisional. Your non-provisional is, the regular provisional is only for a short time. I guess you got to keep renewing it until everything is straight. As long as your patent pending, you're good, because you got to go on to the next stage of patent. And that goes for like 20-year patent. That's what goes for like $5,000 just for the non-provisional patent. Oh yeah, it costs, and you have to wait. You have to wait. It's a waiting game,
right?
You have to make sure first, when you're doing this, you have to make it. They have to make sure that the name that you use is not already used, and they have to make sure that everything is just strictly 100% original and yours. So you have to go through that process and all of that. Yeah.
Okay. So talk about then, because you're in the process of still going through the patent and getting everything approved, and obviously we know it takes years. But what I'm trying to talk about a little bit more about what Sober Touch is. Explain to us about what it is that how this process works, so that we can get a better understanding of the idea of what it's going to do to help keep that drunk drivers from being off the road. So explain to us what Sober Touch Censoring really does.
Sober Touch Censoring, there is sensors that I developed with my engineer, Bill McLaughlin. When it's put inside the steering wheel, the sensors, when you touch the sensors after drinking, whether you drunk or not, you have to touch those sensors, and because they have to calculate your blood alcohol level through the perspiration of the palm of your hands. And once you do a full reading and they determine whether you have alcohol in your system or not, your car will or won't start. But if it's over the state requirement, it's not going to start. Even if someone is drunk, but get a sober person to touch the sensors to get it to start.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the intoxicated person sits behind the wheel, the sensors actually sense that alcohol, even though that the car has been started. It's going. I have it to where it'll think that it's malfunctioning and it's going to ask for a whole new reading once it starts sensing alcohol again.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, because you know how like the breathalyzer, you can get somebody that is not drunk to breathe in the breathalyzer for you, and a drunk person can drive over 20 miles being drunk. So I have it fixed to where my system can't be manipulated. You can't wear gloves. You can't do any of that.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive, and it's amazing. With the new technology that we have today, I think that is going to be phenomenal. So currently you're trying to, I'm sure, work with different car industries also to make sure that this can be built into other cars once this patent is completed. Correct?
Yes, everything is basically already done. We're about to start manufacturing.
Okay.
We're about to start manufacturing. We're getting all the funds and everything together. We're waiting for all the grants and everything. I'm with the senators and all that type of stuff, and they're helping me get all types of grants to get the rest of this finished. I've actually did this for over 4.5 years on my own financially. I have never asked anybody for any money or anything. I buckled down and did it myself. And I can't even believe, can't nobody tell me what God won't and can't do.
Right.
And like, I don't even know how I did it financially to take care of a whole home, 6 kids. I got 8 grandkids.
Wow.
You have other bills and other responsibilities and everything like that. And God still made a way for me to financially get this all the way to manufacturing. I didn't want to ask for any money, off the bat, because I wanted to see how far I could go with this.
Right.
I want to see how if I could do this. And I've proven myself time and time again that I can do it. Every level. Even sometimes when I get discouraged, oh please, I'll tell you, it was times that I said, you know what? I can't do this no more. It has gotten frustrating for everything that comes with it. It's a lot that comes with it. And it was times that I wanted to quit. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. Right. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to stay positive. This is going to happen. This is my time. This is my season. This is what God destined for my life. And I'm going to walk the same walk that God has predestined for me. And I know with God by my side, I know I can do anything. I don't even need supporters all like that. I don't need supporters. If you can support me, hey, support me, because you know what? It's a brutal game. It's a very, very brutal game to where you have so many, when you're doing something of this magnitude, you have so many naysayers.
Absolutely.
Try to come and talk down to you. Like, oh my God, so many people have been so horrible and so mean. To think that I could not do this, and say so many mean and discouraging things. A lot of people don't like to lift you up. They won't build you up.
The key is envy. Okay. So, at this point, like you said, you've been doing this for 4 years. So you just continue to move forward in what you're doing, because you're doing something that is going to be a major change and a very positive change for everyone,
total game changer. This is a total game changer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're going to have a mechanism that's going to be available, in vehicles. I mean, that when I kept reviewing the information that you provide, and I'm reading this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, the magnitude of this is going to be incredible. You're already there. Like I said, now you're in the phase of manufacturing. So in the phase of manufacturing, so when do they plan on having their first test done on the actual vehicles themselves? When do you think that the first option is going to be available for that?
Well, as far as for other people to test it,
Mhm.
well, my engineer has tested it while he was making it, and I'm telling you, he made like 6 different versions for different cars because
Mhm. Mhm.
every car is not wired the same.
Right.
The
Right.
American cars, the foreign cars, the
Mhm.
electrical cars, and all that stuff. And he had it made for different types of vehicles.
Okay.
And he tested them. He said, because when he first met me, he was like, I want to see if I can make this work. And he was just blown away with my idea alone.
Mhm. Mhm.
And like I'm telling you, Bill McLaughlin, he is awesome. I tell you, he is the one that did a lot of the engineering work for Nintendo. So
Okay.
he's a bad man, honey. He's a bad man.
Well, that is
He's a bad man.
so. But do you know or have any idea when it may be available in the American cars? Will it be another 5, 10, 15 years from now? What is
Oh
the thought
no.
process on that?
Um, Bill was telling me that when he was talking to the manufacturers, he said that they're trying to get my product inside the cars by the end of 2019.
Wow. Wow. But actually, the 20th versions are already up, ready to go. They'll be coming out in September. So
Mm-hmm.
more than likely, they may be in the 2021.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely need to let us know how that's going to work, because the other thing I'm wondering now, what are the statistics going to be? What are the statistics showing that with the samples that you have been providing and the engineering and all the work that's been putting together for this, as now it's going to go to manufacturing? What are the statistics going to show the improvements of these incidents of having drunk drivers on the road? What are the current statistics from currently now? This obviously the statistics are very high about drunk drivers and the killing and so forth being on the road. How's the change in the statistics that you can see and that you guys have been working on? What does that look like for us as
It,
purchasers
it
in the
it
future?
looks great because as of right now, it's like 28 to 30 people dying a day
Mm-hmm.
from drunk driving. We're trying to knock that thing down past half. They say with all the testing, he said it works so good. He could not believe. He was like, your mind. He said, I cannot believe your mind. I cannot believe that. How did you put this together in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
He's been an engineer for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And like he said he couldn't believe just how I had things connected together to work. Because I did a whole like thesis to where like when you drink, when you perspire, you notice how you can tell an alcoholic a mile away.
Right.
You can smell them before you see them.
Right.
That's because when you drink, your pores open and it's trying to push all the alcohol out of your system
Mm-hmm.
any way it can. That's why your hands sweat and get clammy. It's pouring out alcohol.
Right.
That's how we get the accurate reading of actually how drunk you actually are.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
So we're planning. So from what he's telling me, that it is going to knock. It's going to knock the everything what's going on with drinking and driving. It's going to take it down to over half.
And that's what we need. And that's what we need, because it's like you said, it's consistent. There's too many deaths, going on as we speak. There's out there drinking and driving as we are currently, doing this show. And so that's the sad part about it. And like we're so thankful. I'm so thankful to have you on my show talking about this, because people need to hear the story. People need to understand what is truly going on outside in our communities. And like you said, the vision that God gave you. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, wow, that is amazing. And you're such a blessing. But what I want you to do now is, we have a few minutes left in the show, but tell me events that you may have coming up here currently, that fundraisers, anything that's going to help you continue to move forward in your product.
Yes. I have a charity event that's coming up in June the 15th.
Okay.
Um, for I want people to come out and support. It's here in Ansonia. Um, I'm just trying to raise funds so I can further do all that I need to do for Sober Touch. This is my first event. Um, this is the first time for me in asking for any help, but this is the big step right here. This is the ultimate big step right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the step right before it get put into cars. So like I'm so proud of myself to make it so far. Like I just can't believe it. Sometimes I gotta pinch myself that I can't believe it, because I remember just like it was yesterday, to where I'm like, how am I gonna do this? And I'm here. I'm like, wow. And this event is going to help me go even further.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love the support from everyone, because this is just not a me problem.
Right.
This is a universal problem.
Absolutely.
This is a global problem.
Absolutely.
This is not just me. Don't wait to support drinking and driving until it hits your family.
Right.
That's the wrong time to support. Don't wait till drinking and driving strikes your family to want to support. Make it your priority now, because if you help me with this, you best believe it's going to be saving lives all over the world globally. You want your family to survive. I want my family to survive. This is not just for my family. This is for everyone. This is something for mankind.
Absolutely.
Period.
So, Lakesha, do me a favor again and tell where the event's going to be located, what time and day again, please.
Oh, I don't even have the date. Oh my God. It's in Ansonia. It's June the 15th. It's from 4 to 8 o'clock. But the flyer is on my Facebook wall. Okay. The flyer is on my Facebook wall. I can send you the flyer and everything, because I have the flyer. It's even on my Sober Touch page. It's all over the place, because I posted it everywhere.
Okay, so why don't you tell everyone where they can find you and reach out to you?
On Facebook, you can reach me at K Harmony Stines, and Sober Touch Censoring at Facebook. Big BK 76 on Instagram. You can email me at 5053 Sober Touch Censoring 5053@gmail.com.
All right. Well, Lakesha, I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest on my show. It has been amazing conversation, and I'm so thankful for you. And like you said, that what you are doing is going to change the world. It's going to change everything that we do. And it's needed.
It is.
You are a blessing.
It really is. It really is. And when I really found out it was serious, when the U.S. Senator, when you get praised by the U.S. Senator, you doing something. You know you doing something, because the U.S. Senator don't just come out for anybody.
That's right.
Come out for anybody.
That's right.
But
you know what? No matter who comes forward, you're doing what is right and what is needed and what's necessary. You said, you don't want to have any more families going through the tragedies that you have seen. Others. And for your future, I mean, look at you have your future grandchildren, their families. We need this. And like you said, drug didn't just happen. It's been going on for many, many years. And there are a lot of great programs out there, but this, I believe, is going to stop it all. So
I do too. I believe this is definitely going to stop it right in this track. I'm so glad to have the support of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the Chamber of Commerce, and all the other mayors and senators, and I'm just so blessed that just to have a strong political support.
Absolutely.
I have a strong political support. It's awesome.
Well, again, like I said, thank you so much for being a guest on my show this evening. You have been such a pleasure. Keep in touch because we definitely would love to have you come back on again once everything is manufactured, because I would love to see that product live. So
Me too. Oh my God. I know. That is so awesome. And make sure you make sure I'm gonna email you the flyer.
absolutely.
And like the tickets are $50 for the event.
Okay.
There's gonna be all kind of people coming in to perform and
Okay.
all kind of different foods there. And I'm cooking all of it. I'm cooking
All
all of
right.
it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, my mom was a chef since I was like 3 years old. So
wow.
like,
Okay.
yeah, she graduated from Johnson and Wells Culinary Art School.
Mhm.
And I'm from down south, so I can cook.
Yes, ma'am. All righty then. Well, again, like I said, thank you so much for being a guest on my show, Lakesha Stines. This is our inventor and creator of the anti-drinking device, Sober Touch Sensoring. Thank you again, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We have had a phenomenal show. This is an amazing young lady. Like I said, her name is Lakesha Stines. Please support her. This invention is going to change the face of the world. It's amazing. I want to keep in touch with her. And like I said, it's called Sober Touch Sensoring. She has an event coming up. We will make sure that we get that posted for you later this evening so that you can see the event itself, where it's going to be located at, and all of the performers and all that comes with the $50 for her event. Please support her. She is doing something that, like I said, is going to change the world. And I'm so thankful that we've had the opportunity to talk for a few minutes. But what I also would like to do before I end my show, I would like to talk a little bit about my upcoming events that I have coming. But first of all, I would like to do is show you that I have a new ebook release out. So for those who don't know, I am also author Kimberly McLemore. I've got 3 books out, but this is my new ebook release. Are You Living or Existing? The Pros and Cons of Balancing Life. Get it today. It'll be available for the next 30 days for $3.99. And it's obviously it's an ebook, so that means that you can download it immediately once you purchase it. I would love to have your support on that. I'm still trying to reach my goal to become a bestseller, so would love to have your support. The other item I would like to talk to you about here is the fact that I've got a lot of other things going on, but this big event I have coming in August. And for most people who do know that being an author, I actually am certified self-publishing trainer. So I will be having an amazing event back in Eastern Pennsylvania with 3 lovely ladies, Miss Christy Joy Met, Miss Wanda Kane, and Michelle Doe Figures. We are going to be having an amazing networking entrepreneur brunch, as well as a self-publishing training event for $75. So if you want more information about that, you are more than welcome to reach out to me at any of my platforms. And the big thing I want to say before I get off the show this evening is the fact that if you would like to be a guest on this show, WSBI, Your Resource for Success podcast program, all you need to do is provide me the simple stuff. As I say, it is just simple to send me a short bio and send me a professional picture and a business logo to Kimberly at WSBILC.com. So if you'd like to be a guest on the show, all you need to do is send me these few items: a short bio, a picture, and a business logo. Again, it's been a pleasure to have everyone on the show this evening. My guest was phenomenal. But until next time, we'll see you next week. And the next week, I have another wonderful guest with me. I'm going to have Dr. Essie McCoy. Dr. Essie Speaks. See you next Thursday evening. Until next time, have a good rest of the evening. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.